Okay, so you know the drill, eh? The drill is structure, liquidity, and then point of interest. Then you can have storyline. You can have a storyline. So this is what we are going to be. Oh, what we are going to. This is our normal drill. Hope you can see my screen. Oh, sure. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
from let me start from the 4 hours. Okay, whether you are starting from the 4 hours or from whatever time frame, this would have been our last or our most recent break of structure. So structure wise, we had this as our most recent break of structure. Now you can get your liquidity and POI from a break of structure perspective or from a change of character perspective. So I'll just show you how I was able to get this entry here. It is a change of character in line with storyline or what you call an order flow. Okay, so after a break of structure here, from even just looking at what we have here, you can pick this. Somebody's mic is disturbing us. You can pick that without even going to a lower time frame. You can see that we have liquidity right here, right? So we have this as liquidity, liquidity for this order block here, right? So from here now, we have let's even go to the 1 minute time frame. From here now, we have this as the target, which would be a break of structure. So let's look at price from this range now, from this range up to this guy. So we have, well, let's do the normal thing, which is a break of structure, and then we want to look for what? Liquidity. Sorry. We want to look for liquidity, which is this, and then a POI, which would be this, right? That would be our first point of interest. Then you want to read price action. So you want to read price from this um, range up to this range to get your order flow and then pick your order points of interest. All right. Okay. So I'm trying to. Okay. Hope you can see my screen now.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay. So from here now we have a change of character, and then let me zoom. we have this engineered liquidity and then this order block. So we have our order flow or money transfer from this region to this region. Next, we have this as a break of structure, and then we have an order block where price respected. So this week here can act as an engineered liquidity. Next is this break of structure here. So from this break of structure, we would have this as liquidity and then this as the point of interest, which still aligns with the change of character liquidity, and then this area is mitigated already. So we now have this area as the only area that is left unmitigated, with this guy now as what is it called, as the liquidity, with this week here as liquidity. Then we have price reacting from here. Henry, if you remember, this was the trade we took the night before we left there. So
Yes, sir, I could remember.
we're expecting it to take out this high, but it did not. Rather, it took out this guy now, because this is the start of this move that broke the structure. So if the trend is going to change, it is not going to be from this region like most people assumed. It is going to be from this region because this is the low that created every high you are seeing here. So this took us out at break even, and then we had a change of character here. So this is where our change of character happened. So from here now we have price. So you know the drill, structure. Let me copy that guy. So okay, you know the drill. It is structure. We have our structure here, and then we have this as liquidity. Now look for the point of interest. We have this candle, and then you can actually mark the entire area. But we have this candle as our point of interest. Now, following the storyline, so we had price taking out this region. Now, so which means that the next break of structure would be this area. So this would be the next break of structure. This would be the next break of structure. But if you watch what price did here, it now gave a sweep. Price gave a sweep that gave a change of character here. Liquidity here. And then an order block here. So following storyline, you would get a change of character here. Liquidity resting here. And then an order block here. So let's even cover this week here, because in actual sense, this guy tapped into this, but instead of having your order block like this, you should have it like this. So we have this, what is it called? This buy to take out this high here, right? So this is what resulted to this. Now, if you are following market structure, or let's say you were not able to catch this move, then what should be the next thing? This should be your change of character, and then let's see where the liquidity is. This should be your liquidity, and you know this would now be the source, right? And then we have our order block here. You have your order block here. So we had price. This was one of the buys I had, but was actually, did it take me out break even, or it was a missed trade? I can't remember, but this was one of the POIs I had. Now, if you had missed this, still on the storyline, it would be a change of character, and then you would have, so if you are picking this as liquidity, you will discover that it has mitigated this area, so which means this would now be the new liquidity. If you are still taking this, you discover that this area has been mitigated by this area, so this is now your source. So what that means is you now have this entire region as your area. So let's take it below the liquidity. So you have this entire region as the area. But unfortunately, price was not doing that. And I'll tell you why. Price was not doing that. So eventually price reacted, because that should be the actual thing. Based on this order flow, price should be able to go. But see what price was doing. Now from this break of structure, like I told you, for your structure, it can come as a break of structure or a change of character. So we had that break of structure entry where all of this is now coming from, right? Now, if we read price action from the change of character perspective, now this would be, can I go to the 5 minutes? Okay, I think we can still read from here. This would be a change of character. And then this would be the liquidity. And then this key level entry would be the area you are looking at. So we have our order block here. Next is this as a change of character. So let's do justice to. So we have this as the first low that happened here. So we have liquidity here, and then we have our point of interest here, right? So there's now a money transfer from this area into this area. Now, price came back into the same area. So we had this now as our next order block. Of course, you want to pick your liquidity here. Liquidity. So we then have this as our next change of character, and then this as our next liquidity for this order block here. For this order block here. So this was what I was looking at, but eventually see what price did to me. Price came into the area and then took out my SL. and went my way. So it was, so basically what we now have here is I'm going to go to 5 minutes. This is so noisy. So we have this as, no, this is not the breakout structure. So what that means is our next breakout structure is now this breakout structure. So we have this to this area, and then we have this. So everything that happened here was just liquidity for this particular area. But unfortunately, price, like I said, following the storyline, price took me out. It was just weak. So what, sometimes you can just so trust in this thing. So what I would have done was to give maybe like 2 or 3 week pips away from this guy, just to be on the safe side, or even this area here down to this low. Should have been a safer zone. But notwithstanding, we still have, so following storyline and all, let's now look out for next possible zone. Or let's even read price action from this area. So after price took out this guy as per change of character, you know the drill for trading reversals. Once your external is taken out and then you have a change of character, you can now look out for reversals. So we had reversals from here. Let's see if we can do 1 minute. So we have a change of character, and we had all of these engineered liquidities here. I want to keep it as per straight line. Now, if you look at this other block here, let me mark out. If you look at the other block, now this green candle has been mitigated by this wick. So what it means is we now have this area as the other block. This area, but you can mark out the entire region here. So we have this as our other block, and then we have that change of character. We have this as liquidity, and even this as liquidity. So you would want to play around this as the first order block and then this as the next order block. So whichever one now price now reacts and then gives you that what is it called? React and then now gives you a change of character, you can follow suit. So we had this. We had price reacting off this as the liquidity, and then this as the order block. So let's take this ray out. We have this as a change of character.
Sorry, I have a question.
Your question, please. We can hear you.
Yes. Okay. So there is, where you just marked, this other block. How about this last? There is a zone at the top there.
This one here.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I
Is it
said.
not?
So if you
Oh,
look at where the change of character happened, right here, we have this as the first high here, which now becomes our liquidity, right? And then what is the zone you always mark? You mark the zone closest to liquidity, which would now be this one now. Now, the bone of contention is the fact that this is also a zone. So what that means is either this guy or this guy can now act as liquidity for this zone. Do you get the point? So let's say you're marking this as liquidity for this zone. What it means is you now have two other blocks or two zones to trade off. You do not want to take trades directly from here or from here. You want to get confirmation. And what is the confirmation? A change of character, liquidity, and of course, an order block to sell from, right? So, like I said earlier on, you should have maximum of two order blocks or point of interest to trade off from. Do you get the point? So every time you have like a structural break or a change of character, it is okay to have two zones. So whenever you have two zones, even if you have one zone, don't trade off that zone without confirmation. I don't know if that's clear, sir.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so you, you would have had a
Yes, sir.
sell this zone into this guy here, right? Into this guy here. So having explained this, let's now see what is expected from the markets. Let's see. So we want to get first what? A structure. And what would that be? Let me see the last low here. Okay, so we have this as the change of character. Change of character. And then we have this can act as liquidity for us. And then we have, first of all, this POI here. And then we have this POI here too. So what do we want to wait for? We want to wait for price to react from any of these POIs. This is a week, remember. So what that means is we have a point of invalidation here. We have a point of invalidation. So what it means is price can choose to react from this whole area like this. But let's keep it at this. Now, from a break of structural perspective, spread did me dirty here. I had a sell that did not trigger here from from a break of structure perspective. So I had a break of structure here, and then price gave this as liquidity, and then this as the order block. Now, this is where some of you will get missing trades if you don't understand candlestick confirmation. So we have this area. Now, what will you be looking at as this obviously will be a change of character, sorry. This obviously will be a change of character or market structure shift. And then this guy here, this wick here will be liquidity. Some of us would have marked this as liquidity, and then you're expecting price to come into this area. No, it wouldn't have triggered you in. So I had this as the liquidity and was expecting price to come into this region. Now, I was actually expecting price to come into this level, but my entry was above. It was here. So price came into this region, but did not trigger the trade. It did not trigger. It was something like this. It did not trigger. Now, and because I did not want to just jump into trades, if not, I still would have gotten this as liquidity and then this entire area as an order block, because this will now be the next break of structure. And then this as the liquidity and then the entire range. Now, even if I had missed out on that, I would have seen there's how I read wicks. This would now be, let me show you something. This would now be a high that created this low, that created this high, that created this low here. And then this would have been the last high. So the moment this high is taken out by this wick, it simply means I now have this as liquidity. So I can trade off this area like this and then have another entry. So it is still structure, liquidity, and then point of interest. So since this has been mitigated, or this area has been taken out, see properly. We will now wait for price to come into any of these areas, right? Any of these areas. So let's wait and see what price does. Are we good? So we are still maintaining the order flow in doing this. Please, does anybody have a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
I find it difficult to understand other block mitigation, like when another block is being mitigated.
You know what another block is?
Yes, sir.
So if a candle comes into it or a wick, that means it has been used. That's what it means.
Well, there seems to be a candle inside it always.
Inside, like which one?
Inside the other block.
To
Like, let me
mitigate
see
it,
the
right?
example. Yeah, like this one now that I'm
This
seeing
one
here
here.
now.
This one here.
No, from the place you drew it. All
This
those
one.
ones inside. Yeah, all those ones inside. I did not.
From what time
The
frame
one.
did we draw it? From what time frame did we draw it? This is the time frame. Is there anything inside it apart from this one?
Okay, that green. What about the green after that white?
Is the green not to go out of the entire range?
Okay, is anyone that dropped into it?
After the green.
No,
Of
sorry.
course,
Maybe
yeah.
I don't know if I'm correct, but I think if we are dealing with an uptrend market and we are looking at the other block, you are only looking at the red candle, or in this case, the white candle. So as long as the white candle has not come into that region, then it is unmitigated. So just forget about the green candle. We don't have any business with the green candle. Abi, am I right?
You are right. I think he needs a class on other blocks. No wahala. But then we would need to now deal with all of the types of other blocks. I would say we can hold a class on that. But every other person understands why this is an order block and it is not mitigated apart from this guy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So let's hope that price comes here. So okay. Let's hope that price comes here and then gives us, you know what to look out for. In your 1 minute, you just look out for a change of character, liquidity, and then an order block.
Okay. Sorry, I have an issue with using 1 minute. I don't. It's always confusing.
Okay, so
Using a information.
are you trading props?
No. Props. No.
So if you have an issue using 1 minute, one of two things. It is either you want to take a risk entry. So once you just place a pending order here, once price comes, it takes your trade, or you want to use candlestick confirmation. So on whatever time frame, whether it is 5 minutes, once you have price tapping into this region, you wait for an engulfing candle. Right? Now,
Okay.
if you do not get an engulfing candle, you can use a morning star candle, which means you have a bearish candle and then you have another small candle showing weakness, and then you have a big candle up to the upside. So whichever way is still an engulfing candle.
Henry, are
Okay.
you there?
The engulfing man
Always active.
and his engulfing
Uh-huh.
sister.
Better hear this one. No.
So whether it is coming as a morning star, if it is going up like this, these three candles like this, a bigger candle, a big candle, a smaller candle, and then another big candle, it is called a morning star if it is in the bullish direction. But if it is coming in the opposite way, like in this case now, it is called an evening star, right? So that's it. So what we are waiting for now is for price to come into any of these areas. Are we good?
Yes.
Any other question, please? Amaka, no question.
So I'm still checking.
Abi, you are cooking for this man.
No, I'm not cooking, no.
Yeah, no, no. Engulfing man, no question.
Well, Oga, we are always engulfing, active.
Yeah, no. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
That's good, sir. Shamas.